Right then, this is now my full fight breakdown for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson going down on Netflix this Friday night. And yes, let's be real. I think a lot of us have been dreading this fight. None of us really want it to happen. Mike Tyson is 58, basically 60 years of age. And he's fighting a 27-year-old juiced up Jake Paul. And I mean, we say he's fighting a 27 juiced up man because, Jake Paul's nothing special whatsoever. Jake Paul is nothing special at all. He's pretty useless if we're being completely honest from what we've seen from him in all of his fights. But, he's fighting a 60-year-old, and yes, it's Mike Tyson. People going to be like, Mike Tyson is different. Mike Tyson's human at the end of the day. Age gets to everyone. You get hit at 60 years old. You're in big trouble, basically. You're in big trouble if you get hit hard by a 27-year-old, someone who's literally like 33 years younger than you. It's not going to end well for Mike Tyson whatsoever, in my opinion. It's really not, and it's sad to say, but he's gonna get He's gonna get really hurt. Mike Tyson's probably gonna need medical care after this one. I don't like to say it, but he probably will need severe medical care after this fight. It's not going to end well if a 60-year-old's in there with a 27-year-old. It's never going to end well. And even if it is Jake Paul, who's absolutely shocking, but at the end of the day, it's all about the age. But you've still got so many people out there who think that Mike Tyson's gonna win this fight, and I hope to God that they're right. But I don't think they know what they're talking about. People are like, "Oh, have you seen Mike Tyson on the mix? Have you seen how hard and how his movements is with how hard he's hitting the bag?" Like, yeah, those clips are 20 seconds long. That's the thing. Those clips are 20 seconds long. He's looking good on the mitts. The saying is, anyone at any age can look good on the mitts. And, everyone says it. Everyone says it. Anyone can look good on the mitts. Anyone can look good on the bag at what any age you're at. And yes, Mike Tyson is an absolute legend of the sport. But, hitting a bag, hitting the mitts is completely different to being in there with a 27-year-old who's juiced up. It's completely different. It's a completely different story. And, people are like, oh, but, Mike Tyson's been knocking people out in sparring. Who's he been sparring with, though? Who's he actually been sparring with? That I just don't know, like, at the end of the day. And also as well, Mike Tyson, they're with their headgear and all that. When he goes in without headgear and he's against a 27-year-old, he's in big trouble when he gets hit. Like, you can be all right with headgear, but when you're 14-ounce gloves and all that, but when your head's there to be hit without headgear at 60 years old, anyone's in trouble. Anyone at 60 years of age is in trouble. And, Mike Tyson hasn't had a pro fight since 2005. People will say, and I know people will say this as well, did you see his exhibition 4 years ago against Roy Jones Jr.? Look, Roy Jones Jr. was shot to bits in that. He was out for 3 years and Mike Tyson was out for like 15 years. You would not know. But at the end of the day, Mike Tyson was in there with an old Roy Jones Jr. It was two old legends of the game going at it. They're going to look good against each other, but when you're fighting, a young guy or at a high level, you're going to get found out. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't understand and aren't able to pick up on for some weird reason. And, it's a shame. It is a real shame. I was going to say something, but I forgot what it is now. But yeah, I just think, Jake Paul, he has been doing it for a while, and he has been doing it for a good few years constantly, and that's what Jake Paul's doing. He's been doing it for about 5 years straight, constantly going at it, grinding in the gym every day with some decent trainers around him. But, they're not able to get anything out of Jake Paul, really. I mean, Jake Paul's looking awful against MMA guys. But it's age at the end of the day. It is age which is winning Jake Paul this fight. Mike Tyson kills Jake Paul in the first round, like literally kills Jake Paul in the first round. If 20-year-old Mike Tyson's fighting 27-year-old Jake Paul, Mike Tyson literally kills him on the spot in the ring. He would, because Mike Tyson's way too skilled for him. But, as well, I remember my point I was going to say about the Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson exhibition. There's a big difference there is actually a big difference between being 54 and 58. There is a big difference there. 58 is basically 60, and you can say 54 is kind of, 55, 50 being nice. But, 58 is basically 60. And Mike Tyson, he's got a weed business of his own. He's known for being on drugs. He's known for smoking weed a lot. And that's going to, something like that's going to affect him when that's what Mike's been doing ever since he's retired. So that's going to affect him. Mike Tyson, remember he was in a wheelchair not too long ago. And as well, they were obviously meant to fight in July, and Mike Tyson couldn't fight because his health wasn't in the right place at all. So again, that's a worry coming into a fight against a 27-year-old. Mike Tyson's health issues. And I heard something earlier, I don't know how true it is, but there's investigations going on right now about Mike Tyson's health before going into this fight against Jake Paul. So there are a lot of questions around him. And, I think it's great that Mike Tyson got himself into the best shape possible coming into this fight against Jake Paul. And that's a big positive. Mike Tyson's done absolutely all he can. And I hope and pray to God that that is enough. I hope it is. But I really don't think it's going to be. And many others don't think it's going to be either. This is how I think the fight's going to go in a nutshell, basically. And I think that Jake Paul's going to KO Mike Tyson in the second round. That's what I'm saying. Jake Paul round 2 KO. It's not lasting long whatsoever. People saying round 5, round 4, delusional. It's not going that far. It's not going that far. A 60-year-old can't take shots for long. Yes, it's 2-minute rounds, but they're long rounds when you're in there. They're long rounds when you're in there at 60 years old as well. Those 2 minutes is still going to feel like a very long time. And, this is, as I said, this is how I think the fight's going to go in a nutshell. They're going to start off coming out. Mike Tyson's going to come out, really putting the pressure on Jake Paul, bobbing and weaving his head, pressuring him, and the commentators are going to be like, "Oh my God, he still got it!" And then no, he's going to slow down a bit. Jake Paul's going to get the jab going a little bit. Tyson would catch the odd few on the gloves. We're still trying to come forward with a little bit of pressure, but really everything's just all really slow for the first round. Tyson, moving his head a little bit when they're both out of range. Jake Paul's, shooting the jab long out of range, and it's just slow pace. Jake Paul's trying to get the jab going, but he's really out of range with it a few times. Mike Tyson's still moving his head a bit. Jake Paul will eventually just trying to go to the jab to the body. Mike Tyson might land the odd shots, God knows. But yeah, it's really slow pace basically in the first round. Then late on, Mike Tyson tries to come in and tries to get something going, but he gets caught instantly. He gets hurt. Mike Tyson goes down. And yeah, the bell saves Mike Tyson at the end of round 1, though. Then at the very start of round 2, Jake Paul's going to go out and fully put it on Mike Tyson, lifting his leg up off the ground when he's going for his straight shots and hooks and stuff like that, jumping around everywhere onto Mike Tyson. And then, just knocks him out brutally. Mike Tyson's on the floor for a long time. Don't want to really imagine it. But yeah, there we go. Referee waves it off. And yeah, Jake Paul wins. Jake Paul acts like he's beaten prime Mike Tyson. Jake Paul thinks that he's the greatest of all time because he's being one of the greatest of all time. But really, that's not the case at all. Jake Paul is an absolute fraud who's just beaten a 60-year-old. And for no reason whatsoever. More money. He's just trying to take everything away from Mike. It's just not good. It's just not good at all. The whole thing's just a shambles for boxing. But I'm glad Mike Tyson's getting paid, though. That's the thing. I'm glad Mike Tyson's getting paid. I hope he does the business. Mike Tyson's done everything he can do. You can tell with the body transformations he has. He's worked hard, but he's not beating a 27-year-old. But Jake Paul's acting like it's all going to be so tough. But no, he's going to win in the second round. He's going to be like, oh, I can't believe I made it look so easy and all that. But yeah, whatever. Everyone was expecting it. But there are some delusional people who aren't, though. That's the thing. And people people saying Mike Tyson will win are going to be saying, oh, you beat a 60-year-old man. But at the end of the day, I've been saying this from the very start. Jake Paul's going to win because Mike Tyson's a 60-year-old man. But other people will just jump on it. But I've stuck with this prediction. Jake Paul's going to win because Mike Tyson's 60. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I said when the fight was first announced, I'll admit I said Mike Tyson would win, but that's something because I was absolutely fuming that it was announced. But, really, we all know Jake Paul's going to win this in the first 2 rounds. And I'm saying this before the fight as well. There are others who are saying Mike Tyson's going to win. Then they're just going to jump on the bandwagon after by saying he was 60. But I'm saying this from the start. Mike Tyson's 60. He's got no chance.